Welcome, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're joined here tonight in the studio by Dr. Nabil Mawla, the Professor of Strategic Planning. Dr. Mawla, thank you very much for joining us this evening.
My pleasure being with you and the audience.
Our pleasure, sir. Now, Dr. Mawla, a lot of people were expecting a participation by the Egyptian citizens, obviously, to go and cast their votes and exercise their political rights. But the turnout, the huge turnout, took a lot of people by surprise. A lot of people were not really expecting that much of a turnout during the first 2 days of voting. So how would you explain this, the huge numbers of people flocking to the polling stations? Is it related to an economic situation that Egypt is going through? Oh, not just Egypt, the whole world is suffering from different economic crises, but also the political situation surrounding Egypt, around its borders, be it in the Gaza Strip or in South Sudan as well.
Me, myself, I was very much surprised, actually, by the huge turnout of voters. The type of or the age of voters, either they are ladies, females, or youth. Youth is a very huge number. That was very surprising for me, actually. The slogan which I can state based on such numbers which we are seeing since yesterday and today, and I think it will continue for tomorrow, is united we stand. We are all together, regardless of the economic situation, regardless of the local or internal political situation, opposition, government, whatsoever you want to call it. But the Egyptian voters wanted to say, we are here all together. We are united. There are real dangers on the uncertainties over the borderlines in Egypt, east, west, north, south, whatever it is. Because of this, you can imagine that on the borderlines, you have two governments for each borderline. In Sudan, two governments.
Yes.
Libya, two governments. In Palestine, two governments. So the only country which has only one government, and we wanted to keep, the people wanted to say, we just wanted one government, and still, regardless of our problems, political, economic, whatever it is, because all the world is experiencing such problems, we are standing together.
Yes. Well, it was quite noticeable, the participation of the women as well. The women, the youth, as you've mentioned, people with special needs, and the elderly. Groups that maybe for decades they felt that they were marginalized. However, they turned out in huge numbers for the polling stations. I don't know if that looks bad for the men or not, but how would you explain that sort of eagerness and the enthusiasm of these sectors of society, the women, the elderly, the youth, and people with special needs as well?
Actually, women has always drawn a real role over the past of Egyptian history, and still doing to the current. They are always performing very well. They are always considered the engine of which leads the men,
yes,
the youth, because actually women and females has a very big and good role in Egyptian breeding for kids and so on. Especially they used to share, most of the women used to share their responsibility with the men. So they are always pushing their kids, their relatives, their men, their spouses, whatever it is, so they are always there.
Yes. Well, a lot of observers were actually looking at this electoral process, and they were saying, well, it's really a one-horse race for one of the candidates. And usually that would turn off a lot of citizens to go and cast their votes. However, quite the opposite happened. Still, a lot of people are turning out to vote for the first 2 days and expect it to be for the third day as well. How would you explain such a phenomenon that the huge numbers, even though turnout numbers, even though a lot of observers and a strong sentiment that it would be only a one-horse race?
You are right. Actually, a few months or few weeks or a few days before the starting of the elections, lots of people used to say that only one candidate will win, only one candidate will win. Me, myself, and lots of observers, lots of citizens even, we have all expected that the voters will not be in such huge amount of voters. But what happened is, let's take it in two factors actually. Number one, why it is one candidate? The time was there. The time was there for all the candidates, and no one has prevented any candidate from being a presidency candidate. This is number one. Number two, all the presidency candidates, they have started too much late. That what gave the perception or the feeling that there's only one candidate. But still, also for that candidate, because he is still ruling, he's still in his position, and according to the actual situation on the borderline, with too many political risks and too many political tricks, which wanted to lead Egypt into different wars, different problems, different conflicts, either on the borderlines or even outside the borderlines regionally or territory-wise. But still, the people believed that although whatever had been said, we wanted to be together. Whatever our problems is, this is internally we can solve, we can work on it. We are suffering, yes, but we still believe that our country is in danger. So we have to stand by we have to practice. And actually, this is one of the good exercises which is being done for the Egyptian people. Even if they're reaching out to the polls, to the polling stations or polling stuff, even if it was organized, but still, I can give you a car, I can give you a microbus or bus, but still you don't come into and get there. But although all this, people have gathered, and people or Egyptian citizens have gone to the poll station, expressing themselves, exercising part of the democracy which we wanted to reach to in the future.
Well, it seems that since 2011, everybody became more politically aware. For decades, people were not used to going or didn't feel the necessity or the importance of exercising their political right of voting in general. So do you feel that this is a cultural change, or the Egyptian society has reached a sort of a culturally political maturity in terms of knowing that this is their right, feeling that they are empowered politically, having their say on who will be ruling, how the country should be run? Do you feel that the society in general has gone through a maturity sort of level, a maturing process over the past 10 or 12 years?
You're right. Yes, definitely you're right. But actually, there are 2 points to talk about it right here. Number one is, when we feel safe, when we feel everything is fine, maybe the culture of the Egyptian citizens or Egyptian people, it's okay, everything is fine. I don't have to bother myself. I don't have to get over there. Everything is fine, so let go. But currently, they feel that the country is surrounded by real danger, real seriousness, real serious situations surrounding the countries from different borderlines. This is number one. Number two, it reflects actually it reflects also the importance or part of the awareness which we all must be doing and exercising our rights to elect or vote. Yes, that started, the awareness started to be increased inside each of us. And that number reflects that fact.
Dr. Abdul Mawla, now, you've spoken about the campaigning process of the presidential candidates. Now, how would you rate it? Because we've been covering certain press conferences and the campaigning done by the four candidates, going to different governorates, having press conferences, trying to announce their presidential program, that if they do get elected, what would the country look like, or how it would be run, or what are the priorities high on the agenda of each candidate. How would you rate the campaigning process? Because a lot of Egyptians as well are not well experienced in terms of knowing what to do, what to say, where to go, how to campaign. How would you rate the campaigning process in general for the four candidates?
Actually, for the first time, or maybe the second time, the Egyptian press has covered all the campaigns on the same level. So there was no problem in this. But the issue or the problem here was that such candidates and the campaigns...
Pardon, Dr. Abdul Mawla. Ladies and gentlemen, we now will go to a live transmission for a conference held by the National Elections Authority with the executive's body's head, Ahmed Al-Bindari. Let's go and we'll be right back.